So if yesterday I painted out what it looks like to have an unhealthy mind, an unhealthy view of yourself, and we talked about narcissism, what is the opposite of that? What does it look like to have a healthy mind? What does it look like to have a healthy form of your view of yourself rather than having a narcissistic personality disorder? Reviewing from yesterday, we talked about how most of everybody is narcissistic in their nature. They care so much about what other people think of them. They have a self-grandiose image of themselves. They think so highly about themselves that they can't be themselves around other people because they care so much what other people whom they don't care, nor know, nor even admire think about them. Think about that. Think about how when you post on your social media, do you care a lot about the likes? When you do a deed that you feel prideful about, do you require the recognition of other people? I like to say that since I don't care for the criticisms of others, I also don't pay attention too much to the recognition of others. It's one and the same thing. It's an item of the same coin. So for example, if you say to yourself that I really don't care what people think of me if I make these mistakes, they're just criticisms of other people who don't really matter. And then you care so much about the recognition when you do a great thing. You care so much about the hearts and the likes and the comments on your social media, or you require the validation of other people, the recognition, the praise for doing a good deed. Well, it's the same thing as requiring the validation of people who you don't care nor admire. So, going back, so narcissism is your aggrandized view of yourself, so much so that you can't act the way that you'd like. Be yourself in front of other people because you care so much about what people think of you. What does it look like to have a healthy version of that mind? So I want to talk about a word that's taken as granted often, and the word is pride. So what does pride mean? What does pride look like? And how can you become prideful? If you see my cat's tail, I think you can. Pride is the recognition that you are your own highest value. Pride is the recognition that you're your own highest value and the achievements that you have are the creation of your own mind. Your achievements are the creation of your own mind. Your character, your actions, your desires, and your emotions are premises from your mind. They're shaped by your logic, they're shaped by your moral ideals. And the character that you have, the person that you are, your identity is shaped, but get this, by your moral codes, by your moral ideals. The opposite of that is it's not shaped by your moral ideals, but shaped by your surroundings. It's shaped by your culture. It's shaped automatically by nature. So if it's shaped automatically by nature, by culture, by your surrounding areas, the people that surround you, instead of your moral ideals, your moral codes and your ethical codes, then it's not a product of your mind. It's a product of other people's mind in which you can't have pride about. But if the things that you create, if things that you produce, if the person that you are, the character that you are, the being that you are is a product of your mind, is a product of your moral ideals, your moral codes and ethical codes. For example, you believe in something and you believe something is right and something is wrong, and you stand up for what is right and you act upon what is right and you get the result of that. And the result of that is the character, the person that you are, and it's demonstrated by your consistency about who you are. then you can become prideful. Prideful being the recognition that you are your own highest value, and that your moral codes and ethical codes are your own highest value. And it's demonstrated, it shows up in the world by demonstrating who you are. So we talked about, going back, what does healthy mind look like as opposed to a narcissistic mind? A healthy mind is the recognition that you don't care about the opinions of people you don't care, you don't know, will never get to know, and don't even admire. And the only validation you get is the validation of the results of your decisions. The validation of the results of the actions that you take, and the result of that is what validates you. And then you say to yourself, okay, so this is the result of that action that I've taken, of the character that I am. And then I can adjust. I want you to recognize something. I want you to recognize that 99% of the time, a rocket headed to the moon or anywhere else in space is off course. And it's those little rocket boosters that spew out a little bit of energy that corrects course on that rocket. So don't require that you're headed to the right direction. Just set on a path and adjust. You have to have, not only do you have to have a plan to get the result, to plan for your goals, but you also have to have moral codes in which you live by, stand by, you believe in which your so-called quote-unquote spiritual guide, your spiritual guidance system that guides you to be the person that you are. And so what's the healthy version of a narcissistic, in review? A narcissistic mind being so self-aggrandized that you care so much what other people think, it inhibits you from being the person that you are. Because the opinions of people you don't care for, nor admire, nor know, or will never care for, you put such value on. The opposite of that is pride, being you're your highest value, and the only validation you need and require are the validation of the results of the decisions that you make. Share this video, and if you want more psychological enhancement tips and having the best relationships around, go to greatrelationshipsyou.com. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.